Hey guys, it's Lou from Savvy Digital, and today we're going to be going through exactly how we achieved just over an 11x ROAS for this client using Google Ads and Google Ads only. So looking at the stats of the account, as you can see, we have an average CPA of around £6.29p, and this is for just under a 30-day period between the 21st of September and the 15th of October. This resulted in 402 conversions with 2.15k clicks. Looking at the spreadsheet, as you can see, we calculated the ROAS by looking at the CPA of £6.29p with an average close rate of those calls of around 80%, which is actually very reasonable within the towing and vehicle recovery niche, as when you're stuck on a road or a motorway, you're not really going to shop around for people to pick you up. You just want to get picked up and you want to get out of there straight away. With that, the cost per paying customer, assuming the 80% close rate, was around £7.55p, and that resulted in a ROAS of 11.26x as a result of the average revenue per client that they're averaging being around £85. So sometimes it's slightly more, sometimes it's slightly less, depending on the location. But we talked to the client, looked at the close rates that they were achieving, and also the average revenue, and that's where all the figures sat. It actually gets even better than that, because if we look at this specific campaign that we set up, because we're running multiple campaigns at the time, ones from previously when we stepped in and some from after. And as you can see, if we go to the one that we recently set up, you can see that we achieved 349 conversions, an average CPA of £6.15p. So that is incredibly profitable for this particular client, and any sort of client within this niche we tend to achieve above a 10x ROAS quite consistently, as it's pretty much a copy and paste method, regardless of the location that you're in, with a few tweaking with the keywords. So if we look at the ad groups and how we achieve this, we split it up into 3 different ad groups. Initially, we had car recovery, emergency and accident breakdown, as well as towing. And as you can see here, over time we did pause the car recovery because it wasn't getting the clients that they wanted to target and that were the most profitable for them. We achieved a cost per conversion of £6.23p in that one, and it gets even lower with the other 2 ad groups, with an average conversion rate of around 20% for the bottom 2 and a slightly lower one at 13%, which also helped the case of actually pausing the campaign initially. With that, if we look at the auction insights, as you can see, there was an impression share of 20.8%. So there's a lot of potential to grow and scale up from there. And if we look at the actual ads themselves, the specific ad copy, we went with the method of using some call only ads initially to go along with search ads, but eventually we did actually opt to use just the search ads because they were performing better than having the call only ads specifically in the campaign to mix along. Once we've done that, as you can see, the cost per conversion for the search ads were even lower at £5.92 and £5.90. To achieve such a good effective ad copy, what we do is we go ahead and include as many headlines as possible. We use dynamic keyword insertion for the headings as well, and we also include many call to actions that make sure that when people click on the ad and get to the landing page, they know exactly what to do when they are there. As well as that, we also try to include some sort of emotional incentive or reason to pick our company over the competitors. That will come with the fact that they have a 30-minute call out time and they aim to respond in that quick time, which is a very, very appealing factor, especially within the City of London. Moving over to the extensions, we did include as many extensions as we could, and you can see here we did include some images which had an incredible click-through rate of around 13%. We also included some site link extensions and some call-out extensions. To be completely honest, we probably could have included even more if we chose to go that route. With the landing pages, we opted to go to the home page because that seemed to be the most effective with the recent history of the account. Looking at the search keywords that we did implement, as you can see, if we go ahead and go by the cost per conversion, which is over here, you can see that the highest one that we did have that was enabled was around £14.6p, but as it only converted once, I wanted to give it a bit longer. It's currently paused in the campaign right now, but I did want to give it a little bit longer to see if it averages out slightly lower. I tried to keep all the keywords below the £10 mark to ensure that we were getting the most bang for our buck, as well as keeping the lead quality relatively high. With that as well, with the car recovery, you can see in some cases there were broad match that was implemented, but for the most part, when I actually came into the campaign, I opted to go more for a phrase match approach where possible, and included many different keywords and was kind of including them from the search terms as we went along, whilst maintaining a very, very, deep keyword list for the negatives. A negative keyword list, I should have said, to make sure that we were taking out any competitors and any, sort of terms that are unrelated within this niche. With that, if we actually look at the audiences, we did include a lot of different bid adjustments to make sure that we were constantly on top of it each week in terms of making sure that we were advertising to the right people based on the conversions that were coming through the cost, which is, standard practice for optimizations, sort of manual reviews on a weekly basis. Also, we did the same for demographics with the age, gender, and household income. Less so on the household income, but more of the age and gender, trying to put in those bid adjustments to maximize every penny that we could. With that, if we look at the campaign settings, as you can see, we did go ahead and use phone call leads as the primary goal for the campaign. And with the actual acquisition as well, we did go ahead and bid exactly the same for new and existing customers. We could have gone, bidding differently for the new customers sort of approach. And we did actually have search partners included at some point. However, at times we did opt to go against that. In terms of the radius, we did have 50 miles around London, and we ensured that we did have, for the targeting, we had presence only for the campaign. So with this, if you did want to narrow it down, because we had a slightly bigger budget to work with at some points within the campaign, we opted to go for search partners in some case. But if you're working on a tighter budget, I would advise going with the Google Search Network specifically, because it does happen to have the best CPA on average. In terms of locations, you can see we just kept it as London, not much to see there. And the ad schedule, again, we did go ahead and make bid adjustments as per the conversion costs or cost per conversion that we were seeing, just to make sure we were keeping on top of the bids. With that, we also went ahead and adjusted the device bidding to make sure that computers and tablets were not included within this specific ad, because if you think about it, if people are stuck on the road and looking for services such as towing or vehicle recovery, it's very unlikely they're going to have a computer or tablet available, and mobile phone is going to be the choice. As well as that, it also helps with the fact that we are trying to prioritize phone calls, and that was the most effective strategy for this campaign. So that is exactly how we went ahead and achieved such a high ROAS for this campaign. It came with optimizations twice a week, weekly reviews as well as monthly reviews, to ensure that the ad quality and the lead quality were up to scratch. If this is something you're interested in, or you want more advice on how to achieve such great results, please reach out in the comments down below and like the video for more content like this, as well as subscribe, as I do upload regular content regarding Google Ads. If you want to see more details about how to optimize your Google Ads campaigns, do click the video in the screen right now to be brought to another one of my videos to take your Google Ads to the next level. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.